Why hello there, fellow bosons. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Windrose. Episode 5, Crewed Up and Rigged to Sail. So the crew aren't here in the camp. The crew are sailors. So they're functionally different than, like, the camp people, in other words. So at the disassembly table, I'll use the cutlass just to show you its, like, attack pattern and swings before I break it down. But I'm going to be making the decision. I'm not going to be leaving up to polling. It's like, I'm going to use what I want and build how I want. All right, so now we have the crew rescued. We did finish the Buccaneer Challenge. So because we finished the Buccaneer Challenge, I have a boarhead. I've already found one boarhead. So I'm just going to slap a boarhead here, and that will raise our comfort value up to 13. And then once if we find a dodo head and finish the dodo challenge, we'll be able to do the same thing for another comfort for dodo. Bacon and eggs and spicy chicken. And I'm just going to eat the dodo broth now, just to burn it, in other words. All right, let's go and get some more bandages. So, the stuff we need for the boat. We need 100 wood, 20 nails. So let's grab our nails now. I've got 11 of 20. We'll need 20 coarse fabric, 10 ropes. Done. I'm gonna need some more nails. Done. So 20 nails, 20 coarse fabric, 10 rope. And then all I'm missing now is wood. So I've got 9 of 100. So with the ability that I have on this cutlass, you can see the take aim on the left being stacked. So you show you the bonus on this drowned here. Dumping the take aim bonus onto the drowned. If you like the synergy between them, well, have at it. And a lot of abilities, a lot of weapons will have like these stacked abilities like that. You know, they're pseudo-magical damage stacks or something. And I can also go to the weapon bench and show you the ascension values too. I'll do that in a minute. Alright, we're halfway there. And once you get your boat, the game becomes a lot more open world. So the training wheels will be off, and I'll be able to do virtually anything I want once the boat is obtained. Which is why I haven't really been pulling on much, because I'm very restricted in what I can do in a little, like, sailing skiff that can't fight and barely moves. Although, to be fair, the boat that you make is only, like, twice as fast as a skiff, but still, that's a lot. Whoops. Whoops. Well, okay. Domino! Geronimo! Oh, it was a palm. I thought it was a coconut. Not that it really matters. I mean, you outgrow coconuts pretty early on. I don't even eat them anymore. I could mix them with bananas for the smoothie, but that only really helps if I want to have that build. Actually, that's a pretty good way to get my stamina, to be fair. Okay, so we've got the materials, and we just need to bring that over to the broken boat. And I'm going to put the extra material away, because I don't need a full backpack full of garbage. All right. I'll put the pearls away too. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. All right, there we go. Got the gunpowder. All right, so we did the attack set of the cutlass. If you wanted to ascend, not that I have the resources to do it, you can see what happens. So here's the ascension, where if we had something called Tumbaga ingots, which are rare and found in like ancient ruins, we could ascend the weapon to an epic quality weapon, which then adds the effect that attacks consume 10% less stamina. So every blue weapon can be ascended for something special. And there you have it. I suppose I'll just use it, and I'll upgrade it once so it matches the quality. So there we go. It has 5 more slash than my other weapon. And we'll break down the original saber. Did I use up all my copper? I must have. Oh, I guess I did. Okie doke. Alright, let's get over to repair the boat. There it is, straight ahead. I've got all the materials, I have the crew, and this will unlock having a boat, which is pretty stellar. So there's 2 major discoveries that I've yet to find, and then 1 other resource that I've yet to find. I'm not fretting over that. It will happen in time. Actually, one of those major discoveries I do find is hard to find, but it doesn't really matter. As long as you get the critical ones, the key discoveries. So we have yet to make the alchemy stuff, and that can come post-boat reconstruction. And there it is. The boat. Now you can have both boats. If you hit K, you can recall one or the other. Sometimes when your big boat is like way out at sea, it's useful to take the small boat out to the big boat so you don't drown in transit. Usually that doesn't happen, but it can. And here is our starting ketch. Now, for ship management, it has its own gear, which we don't have any yet, its own action panel, and a cargo. And so you can have ship cargo and personal cargo.
Captain, at the helm.
And now I am going to fast travel back to dock. And there it is. Okay, there he is. If at any point Doc disappears for you, fret not. All you got to do is go over to your bonfire and evict him and then settle him back in, and he'll teleport back to your home. Because this happened to me once in playtesting, where like I was supposed to talk to Doc, but he literally wasn't anywhere. He had disappeared, and you could just resummon him using the bonfire.
I remain at your service.
How can I help? The ship is afloat. The crew is ready to sail. We can get out of here. I'm afraid that's not possible, Captain. What are you talking about? I confess I haven't been completely honest with you, Captain. Do you remember that strange artifact the pirates found on your ship? I took service on your ship with the sole purpose of delivering that artifact to the mainland at the governor's request. You should have warned me. I understand the anger, but please see where my true intentions lie. I had no choice. Believe me, I'd rather treat illness than spin intrigues. I just wish to be back in my surgery. That is, if there's anything left to return to. We still must recover the artifact, whatever the cost. With all due respect, the artifact is not my concern. You were dead, Captain. A bullet through your heart. Thomas Richards killed you right there on the deck. Trust a physician, no man lives through such a wound. And yet, here you are, walking, talking, and breathing. I'd wager my scalpel it's connected to the artifact Mr. Richards took. How are you so sure? The governor had eyes everywhere, especially among Edward Teach's lackeys. Rumor has it Blackbeard has a similar artifact and uses it to turn men into undead servants. I believe the marks on your body are no disease, but a transformation in effect. None can say how much time you have left. If anything can save you, it's the artifact and its mysterious powers. Alright, let's say I believe you. How do we get it? I asked the rescued sailors. They say Thomas Richards, the pirate who stormed our ship, lies holed up not far from here. He set up a fortified camp in one of the caves. There's only one way in, and the gate is almost always locked. You can get inside if you take the black marks from Richard's lieutenants. They are guarding 2 large jungle camps. Do you have something troubling you, Doctor? Just before we sailed, I heard Jean-Paul Garon, the governor of Tortuga, was killed. Then Thomas Richards storms your ship. The attack was carefully planned. He knew the route, the timing, and even who had the artifact. That means someone betrayed the governor. By God, I want to get my hands on the bastard. Any idea who it might be? Nothing concrete, just suspicion. Governor surrounded himself with men he trusted without reservation. I cannot believe one of them would stab him in the back. You have my condolences. Thank you, Captain. When we reach a tavern, let's drink in his memory. Jean-Paul was attacked as he returned from meeting a business associate. Just like with the artifact, the pirates knew exactly where he would be and at what time. Could they have planted a spy close to him? Only a few trusted friends knew about my mission. None of them would have made a deal with Blackbeard. We were bound by our belief in independent Tortuga, a small corner of freedom amid the world's tyranny. I don't want to accuse anyone without proof. I need a lead, something that points to the traitor, or at least shows how he passed information to the pirates. Maybe there's something at Richard's camp. I still have a few questions. What do you know about Thomas Richards? Beyond the fact that he boarded us, not much. He loves to eat. He suffers from nasty stomach cramps. He is one of Blackbeard's most trusted captains. I heard he quarrels with his associates, that's all. What about the artifact? Very little. It's somehow connected to the undead, but I only learned that recently. In recent months, the number of wounded have grown sharply, and Jean-Paul, governor of Tortuga, set up a temporary infirmary for them. I spent days there without break. Jean-Paul often threatened to lock me up just to make me get some sleep. The day we sailed, Jean-Paul got me onto your ship. He put the artifact and a letter into my hands and said that the agent of the mainland was to retrieve them, with supposedly the fate of the West Indies depending on it. I do not know this agent, and the letter was lost at sea. You know the rest. Do you have anything for me? Minor healing potion. Nice. It's Lotus and Iwapik. Thank you for the resubs. Alright, I also leveled up. So I am going to invest stat points into vitality so I can tank a little better. And then talent points. I'm going to pick up, you will answer for this, for temporal health, and also retribution for temporal health gain. And I'll show you what that does for me now. Maybe a... well, no, whatever. I'll fight a dodo. GMT, thank you for the resub, too. I want to fight a dodo, and now I can't... oh, well, here's a sow. It's a little sketchier because I don't have a lot of health, but whatever. So, see that red, dark red health? I can leech that back if I attack the sow quickly after getting hurt. That's what temporal health is. So it's like a leech life. It's not true leech life. There's some special weapons that like give you actual leech life, but it's like a recover from a temporary wound type thing, which is very helpful in the middle of combat because you can regain, when you take a hit, you can regain some of the lost life with a mix of increased temporal health given when taking damage, and your attacks are more effective at recovery. Just like the progression points, talent points can be reset at any time, so you can just experiment. Alright, so we have build a shipwright workshop, and that's what we're going to do next. Because we have a ship, but it has nothing. It doesn't have cannons, it doesn't have armor, it doesn't have boarding gear. So that's the next thing I'm going to work on. So I'll update the priority. Upgrade the ship. And just like the player's gear, the ship is no different. Your ship can be upgraded and outfitted with different armor, different weapons, different tactical abilities, stuff like that. Alright. So, whoops. I need to build... So we've got a new shipwright's workshop. Little warning though, this thing's ugly as sin and like not square, so it's really hard to put down and like be satisfied with where you place it. And then also an alchemy table and a stovepot. The alchemy table requires 2 clay pots, and the stovepot requires a copper pot. I'm going to be out of copper if I build all this, so we're also going to have to do some resource harvesting. But the first thing I'm going to do is to get the shipwright workshop in, and in order to get that, I want I'm just going to make another temporary shack and just put it in a shack. Eventually I intend, if given the time, energy, effort, etc., to actually build like an attractive home with real structures once I have the blueprints for real structures. At the moment I really don't. I have like leaf crap. But once I have, you know, something that looks better than leaf, because I don't want to invest in leaf, you know, wood, stone, etc., I'll actually build some physical structures. But for now, we're just going to go with another generic hut. So I'm going to go over here and muster up some fiber for the generic hut. Shouldn't take too long. So some of the missions you're going to unlock are like totally inappropriate for the level that you're at. So I've got like Underground Network, which is reasonable at level 3, but like Bitter Pill at level 9, yeah, let's leave that alone. Things that are over your level will do so much more damage to you that it's and you will do so much less damage to it. That's actually mostly based on gear level though, not actual character level. Gear level matters a bit more. But regardless, I have a bunch of like level 1 gear, so I am going to be completely and utterly ineffective in fights. And if I want to get better gear, the best way, in my opinion, to get it, because buying blueprints is rather expensive, is to go exploring. Because not only will you find new pieces of gear that you can use, but you also level up in the process, which is like 2 birds, 1 stone, which is why once I have like a ketch with some basic equipment and the like, exploration quests are probably the next in order to do once we get like maybe some alchemy bench and stuff. So you can see some of the temporal health coming in. There are talent points much later on that you can get, which gives you like regen on kill and things like that, which aid in your recovery, so you don't have to be eating or consuming bandages every like 10 seconds. And that helps a lot, especially with longer excursions when you don't want to carry like 50 bandages around with you everywhere you go, because you know that fills your backpack with junk. Alright, we have enough plant fiber. More than enough. I think I have 100 at home, so this should do. For this prefab, I'm just going to drop it near the water. So I'm going to hit V so I have the like farther up view. I'm going to put it near the water because it's outfitting the ship. So, all right, the next thing we need for it is 10 coarse fabric, no problem. You can see these things this is like not square and kind of hideous. Like there's no way to position it where you're going to be happy. But we have it at least. So, craft a 12-pounder cannon for your ship. So we have boarding gear. Boarding gear gives your crewmen, when you board an enemy ship, attack power, which is kind of important when you're trying to board ships, especially ships with treasure. You've got 12-pounders, which is how you actually fire on enemy ships, and then hull bracing, which increases your defense. All of these things are pretty necessary if you want to get into ship-to-ship combat. And with that said, I am completely out of copper just about, so we're going to need to go copper mining, and I might not have any more copper in the caves where I am, so we probably, not certainly, but probably will have to go to new islands for copper, because I don't think I'm going to be able to find the resources here for it. Chances are. But I'll try it here anyway, first. Even though I'm pretty sure I mined out the island. Am I not going to look at the different types of catches? Nope, not yet. Plus, that would be a totally different object. It's worth reminding people. I have it said in the about and details and like in the tags and everything, but like I'm not, no backseating. No backseating tags are on. There's been a hell of a lot of spoilers of backseating in the comments. Please keep it to a minimum. I've played this before. I know what I'm doing. I don't need to be told what to do. It isn't welcome. So it's probably not been enough days for the copper in here to actually regenerate. Nope. As you can see, it's exactly how I left it. It will be a little bit more convenient to have a lamp on hand. And there's some copper here. It's not none. And because I have a copper pick now that I'm in here, I'll be able to mine this a lot faster than I did before with the stone one. But I'm kind of like trying to bleed a stone here, right? Because like there's not a whole lot of it. So I'll probably need to go to another island for copper to be able to like actually get the cannons on the ship. It's also worth noting that if I chose to make a different type of ship, the equipment is transferable to some degree or another. Armor and boarding gear is transferable, and then cannons are sometimes transferable. I say sometimes because there's different size cannons. So there's 3 different size cannons. Let's just call it small, medium, and large, and you won't be able to put like a large cannons on a small ship. But generally speaking, it's transferable. No, there's more copper in here than I thought. Pirate urns for the mines. I mean, I'm not like a... It's weird. When you create a character in this game, you're given the option of either being a pirate king or a pirate queen, but like, I would argue that you're not really a pirate at all. Even though the game is like, hey, do you want to be a pirate queen or king? It's like, but we're not pirates. We're like privateers. We're fighting pirates. I don't really understand. It's like a misnomer. Right? What piracy have I done so far? I've killed pirates. That's not piracy. That's privateering. But whatever. That's just semantics, I suppose. You had that date in your world? Yeah, I mean, it's... Truly, I haven't really gotten into the thick of it in terms of game mechanics, but you really don't act as a pirate in this game. You don't. You act as a privateer. A soldier of fortune, you know, a merchant marine or something. You don't really act as a pirate. Privateers were just sanctioned pirates? I guess, but, you know, it really is the wrong term. It really is a misnomer. But I don't care. Whatever. We sail around in what is essentially a pirate ship singing pirate shanties, so I guess it's all well. So this is probably not enough copper to get what we really want. But it will be a start. You're basically a volunteer. We're not even volunteering. We're just getting, like, essentially revenge more than anything else. So it's not that we're not sanctioned. We don't have an agenda. You just don't do a lot of piracy because you're not killing anyone. So I don't know. It's semantics. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Call us a pirate or not. Makes very little difference. We are out of storage space. I'm going to make another one of these bales, and I'm just going to put the stone in there. At some point I'll organize, but that point is not now. Oh, okay. I was like, what is that? It's my bullets I dropped. Yep, just chilling, floating around, no problem. Pay no attention to the floating bullets. I've heard of floating bullet points, but not floating bullets. So, the 12 pounders is going to be more wood. I should get the wood for it. And it also requires some nails. I was hoping to... Yeah, there we go. We'll hit some shipwrecks. Maybe I'll get the nails I need for it, too. So I don't even have to use my copper making them. Because I am... Essentially, until that copper cave respawns, I don't know of another cave, I don't think. I'm sure there is one on this island somewhere, and I could find it. But at least for now, I don't actually have intel of another cave location, which means I should be judicious about how I use my copper, because I won't be getting any more copper until I venture out and find more in another cave somewhere else. And I mention that only because if the things I want to make costs nails, finding nails in the wild is going to be much nicer. The crate here... Actually, no, you can't break it down. Okay, I didn't think so. Because it's like a quest crate, so if I was playing multiplayer, other players would have to interact with it too. How convenient the copper hasn't respawned. It's an incentive to explore. Yes, and if I... What I wanted to do is I wanted to get the ship in fighting form, so if I had to fight Teach's ships, the Blackbeard ships like I physically could, I think it's probably worth doing that, which is why I'm doing this and not some other quest. So 2 more copper for that. Cool. Yeah, it should have most of the copper I need, I think, looking at it at a quick glance. And I'm just going to make the clay pots now, because I know I'm likely going to want the alchemy stuff. So the alchemy table will need to be inside as well, and I don't really have a hut for it, so I'll have to do another, like, fiber hut for it as well. Because I don't want to overcrowd this one. Because Galen decides to warm my bed sometimes. Well, actually, it will probably fit here. I'll put it in here. But if you overcrowd your cabins, you can end up stuck when other NPCs block you. But there we go. We can make clay bottles, which then allows us to make alchemical base with the Misty Orchids, which allows us to make different healing potions. If we had a higher level healing station, which I can make in just a second here, we'll be able to make the nicer healing potions, and then we can make the minor ones. We can also make the Elixir of Cruelty with a higher level, which is a 15-minute 8% damage boost. And then Gungram Grog, which gives us 15% reload speed for 30 minutes on our ship. This is a ship thing, not like a reload speed of my own guns thing. The other piece of this is a clay or a copper pot, and I don't want to use my copper for that just yet. I'd rather make ship equipment. So here's the 12 pounders. And if we take a look at this now, build a wharf to equip the ketch with cannons. So a wharf is, I think what you were referencing before of like, aren't you going to look at the other ship types? Yeah, you can't until you have a wharf. You have to do the cannons first. So, to show you, what was it, 5? No, it was 10. Well, I have 9 of 10. I guess. Shrubs occasionally come in handy. So a wharf is how you actually manage your ships. I'm just going to snap it to my fast travel point. And now I can manage my ship by naming it. And I'm going to use the name Twitchy Clipper. You can change the way it looks, so I'll put some red and black sails on it. You can change your flag. I'll just have a generic black flag for now. You can also change the gear. So I can drag and drop and put 12 pounders into my ship, allowing my ship to actually have cannons. Because without cannons, if I get in a fight, I'm just effed. You're also probably going to want boarding gear and armor too before you really get in any fights. If you ever have your ship die, like basically enemy ships blow it up, which, yeah, happens, you can rebuild it at massive discount here. Additionally, it allows you to make other ships. So there's the ketch, which I have now, the Brethren ketch, which is slower, bulkier, more hit points, right? So my one has a max 19 speed, cargo 28, 50k with 3 12-pound guns. The Brethren is the same guns, more cargo, right? 28 to 36, slower, 19 to 17, and tankier, 65 to 50 to 65. And then the Blackbeard. The real advantage of the Blackbeard variant is it can have bigger guns. It can have 24-pounder guns rather than the 12-pounder guns, but it does take a big hit to cargo size and hit points, but it does gain max speed. So at some point, I can have you guys decide whether I should... Now that I have a boat, once I get some basic equipment, we can decide whether I trade up to the Blackbeard variant or I keep my current variant. It makes very little difference to me, truth be told. Alright, so the other things I want to add to this is hull bracing and the boarding gear, and that needs more plant fiber and copper. So I think I can get the armor now. And then likewise, oh, I'm missing some wood. You can also upgrade your ship's gear at the shipwright. So just like your saber or your armor or whatever else you have, it has its own gear levels, and it's really important because as you upgrade it, it will do more damage. So don't neglect upgrading your ship either. Basically, everything needs to be upgraded all the time if you want to be effective in combat. Because if I have a level 1 ship and I'm going up against 3 level 3 ships, they outclass me considerably. The fight is winnable, but it's going to be close. If I have a level 5 ship going up against 3 level 3 ships, I'll dominate them, we'll board them, and we'll make the most amount of profit. So there's a big difference between the two. And can you immediately make the 24-pounders? No, you'll have to buy blueprints. Again, try to keep spoilers at a minimum. We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't jump the gun. It's coming. Come on, topple everything. I love when trees domino when you're trying to get a lot of wood. You know, I might as well get these two. Trying to get as many nails as I can to save myself the copper later on. So now that I have a copper tool, I can clear these shipwrecks out, like, very fast. It's actually a pretty effective way to get your wood. So the next one is to destroy an enemy ship. And that's the next quest I want to do, but I'd like to get some more equipment before then. So if you wanted to upgrade your gear, I'll show you that in a minute. You have to uninstall it first at the wharf. So if I wanted to, let's say, upgrade these cannons, they can't be on the ship. They have to be, like, in my inventory or in storage or whatever, to then go over to the shipwright and go to upgrade. Because if they're installed, they're not upgradable. For now, the level 1s should be just fine. So now all we're missing... So this is something that comes in later on. You have to buy it. So we'll just get the ship gear. And we're just missing... What was that? 7 course fabric for that? Cool. That's literally all I have. Perfect. Boarding gear obtained. Now, before we go sailing, twitching for a fight, I am also going to make 5 repair kits. So the repair kits are the out-of-combat repair. The combat repair kits are the in-combat repair. And I'm going to go pick up my in-combat repair kits, too. Because, we'll need them. So that's them. Alright, I think that's all I need. So let's install the boarding gear. And then set the repair kits and the combat repair kits in the ship action panel so that I can use them. Alright, so the quest I'm on here is to destroy a ketch there. And that's going to be really easy because it's next to one of my travel bells. So we don't have to sail there. Don't worry, we'll do sailing, but we're going to blow this bad boy up first. Oh, no, hold up. I don't have food. I am absolutely not about to get into a fight against pirates with no food. Now, with that said, all right, let's do a 10 vitality food and a 10 agility food. That'll work. Good mix. Let's do 2 of each. Because I have an agility-based weapon, so that will help my own damage up a bit. There's the twitchy clipper.
Ship's under your hand, Captain. To the iron, lads.
All right, here we go. So landing shots on the deck rather than in the hull will do like crit damage, which is ideal. But if you can just get the deck, that's fine too. Health for the ship is in the top left. And then because this is a treasure boat, as you can see the like treasure chest icon, we're going to want to disable this ship. Oh, I missed. We're going to want to disable the ship and then board it. We are not going to want to sink it because we'll lose the treasure bonus. Which is also why I built the boarding gear. Nope, too high. Now, if you fire too high, there's 2 types of shots. Honestly, chain shots in this game, I think are like, they suck. But you can disable ships temporarily. And there we go. So now I have blown apart this ship enough that it's functionally disabled. It's not going to be able to move. And I'll board it in a second. Also, F changes your view. So you can have like a bigger view here on F. I like both. Well, let's go ahead and board this ship. There is a high-value sunken ship out there to my north that we might get at some point. There is not grape shot, mind you. So in order to board, you have to come alongside the ship and then be moving kind of slow. And then once the ship's disabled, generally it will stop firing. I might fire 1 more volley at you occasionally, but usually it kind of stops. And then I just hit spacebar to start boarding. And I can jump over there now. Obviously, I'm going to want to eat my food first. And I'd rather wait for my crew to be ready so that I'm not like alone on the ship by myself because I don't have good gear. And we have to kill 7 enemies for them to give up. I don't have to kill their entire crew, just 7. Also, be very careful getting trapped in the geometry of the ship because you can find yourself just like stuck by the ship's structure and pinned where you can't escape. Jumping overboard is not an unreasonable way to like get away from enemies because they won't follow you and you can just jump overboard, take a second, and then climb back up. That's a great way to temporarily disengage if you're getting overwhelmed by numbers. Or if you want your bandages to heal you or whatever. Because I really don't like, personally, going down the stairs here. Because it's like a meat grinder where the enemies will just, like, dogpile you hard. So instead, I'll just fire. There we go. Boarding was successful. And I gained 52 extra coin for the boarding. These sailors here have given up. There's nothing to loot down here. You can, if you want, just like one-shot them. It doesn't matter. Now that you've won, you're going to kill them anyway when you sink the boat. So you can kill them, you can leave them, it makes no difference. And then in order to finish the combat, you go back to your ship and go to the helm, and you finish off their ship. I just did like 1.2 billion damage to it or whatever. Hit spacebar, and we gained 4 deckhand insignia and a combat repair kit, which I'll hit F to take all. And then I'm going to transfer the deckhand insignia to my own inventory. so that I can trade it for rep. So there we go. That is our first ship battle. Thank you for tuning in to Windrose, which originally streamed live on Twitch as a marathon. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I am not, however, looking for feedback. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits, and everyone who showed up to the marathon live and supported this subathon. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow privateers.